Another milestone task checked off the list. Can you see anything different? No? Let me show you. Here we have the beautiful tiller put back in place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what teak and perfection look like when it's done right. A nice looking piece of wood. I have a sunbrella covering for that, which I'm going to cover it with, simply because although perfection is UV resistant, very UV resistant, there's no point in testing it. I'll put the cover on and protect it because it looks so nice. So today is a day of some routine maintenance. First time I've actually done this on the boat, but the reason why I decided to do it now is because when I test run the engine, after 15 or 20 minutes, it starts to lean out and sputter. And when I squeeze the manual bulb in the fuel line, it comes back to life. So I figured it's probably a fuel filter. So I changed the fuel filters out. Let me show you. There's actually two of them. There's this one here, Fleet Guard fuel separator. It's supposed to separate water and crap out of the fuel before it hits the fuel tank, fuel filter on the engine. This is the bulb that I was talking about. When I squeeze this guy, the engine would come back to life. So I assumed that the engine couldn't suck fuel through that filter. This here is the other filter. It's just a little spin-on can filter, and I replaced that one. And then I did a test run of the engine for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or something, and it worked just fine. So my theory is probably correct. In other stupendous news, I talked to the boys down at the Isuzu marine engine place, and they said that the tack problem is one of two things. It's either the tack itself or it's the alternator. Apparently the alternator has a sensor in it that detects engine revolutions, and it translates that into RPMs to the dial. Now, I did a little voltmeter testing, and there's absolutely no voltage coming off of the alternator. So I suspect that the sensor in the alternator is pooched, which is really annoying because other than that, there's nothing wrong with the alternator. So I'm gonna, at some time, not today, have a go at that. I've got to clean up the alternator. It's all covered in dust and grime and grease and crud. And I will clean up the contacts on the back of it and see if there's any remedy for the tack situation. But if not, it looks like I'll either be working without a tack or I'll have to replace the alternator. I also changed the air filter. The air filter unit on the boat is kind of an odd one. Let me show you. This is it. I asked the guys down at the Isuzu place, how do you open the can to get the filter out? Because the paper element's actually inside here. And they said, you don't. You replace the whole thing. Fortunately, it's not hideously expensive. It's expensive like you'd expect it to be expensive. It's about 40 bucks. I had a friend who suggested making one so I could just put generic cartridge filters in it, and I thought, yeah, it's probably a good idea because 40 bucks a crack. It's not like it's exposed to a whole lot of dirt and dust and crap, but you know, every time you replace it, it's 40 bucks out of your pocket. So that's another future project, but for today, I've got a brand new air filter sitting on top of the engine, delivering nice clean air to the combustion chambers. I think I'm just about ready to take the boat for a little test cruise. I want to take it down to Ward's Marina there and do some pressure washing, get all the bulwarks and everything cleaned up in preparation for sanding and painting I don't have to do that to go sailing. I've pretty much done everything I need to do to go sailing. So it's just a matter of my own comfort, I guess. So perhaps in a week or so, I'll get a friend who knows how to sail, come along with, and we'll head out to the Wild Blue and see what we can do. How exciting is that?